take two on installing the gearbox. The first one that I got from O'Reilly's, when I put the gearbox back in, put the pitman arm on, reinstalled the drag link, took it to have the alignment set on it. The alignment shop pointed out that it still had play in it, so unfortunately O'Reilly's had sold me a bad unit. So I've taken it back out, gone through everything yet again, swapped out the unit for a new unit, and I'm now reinstalling everything. So basically, just to recap, disconnect the intermediate shaft, disconnect the two hoses, disconnect the 4 bolts, drop it off, swap out the pitman arm, set the unit back up in there, trying to align the intermediate shaft to the input shaft on the gearbox, put the 4 bolts back in it, and tighten up the top bolts. And then once you've got all 4 bolts tightened up, the intermediate shaft tightened up, put your hoses back on, bleed the system. Okay, we've got everything back in now. 4 bolts installed. The drag link is reinstalled. One thing I did fail to mention, when you're working on these older K10s, right behind the gearbox, these things are bad about cracking the frames. So always check when you have that gearbox off. Take the time and opportunity to check it. This one was not a problem, but there are several companies out there that make patch kits for them in the event that they do crack the frames. Most people recommend putting a reinforcement bracket on these, as it is a common problem. I believe it is Off-Road Designs that makes a bracket that's pretty much a bolt-in installation. I think you had to drill 1 bolt hole in the cross member to give the support brace a place to bolt to, but other than that, it's pretty much bolt in. I'll be installing that later on and have a video up about that. So really the only thing I have left to do is come back up here and hook up the power steering lines, and then go ahead and bleed the power steering pump.